recent poll from YouGov shows that followers of Islam are the most negatively viewed of any of the other most numerous immigrant groups. Extreme negativity towards which is higher than for any of the other groups, and by quite a long way. I'll go through the bare numbers here and then I'll do a simplifying summary. From YouGov, as I said, on behalf of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, just shovel it down a bit. So, question: do you think the following groups of immigrants to the UK generally have a positive or negative impact on the country? Christian immigrants to the UK, total positive 41%, total negative 7%. Wide difference there, as you would expect. Muslim immigrants to the UK, total positive 24%, total negative 41%. I will be coming back to that. Hindus, total positive 38%, total negative 15%. Now, Sikh immigrants, total positive 41%, total negative 14%. And lastly, Jewish immigrants, total positive 38%, total negative 13%. These numbers include all the undecided people and all the people who said there was no difference. If we eliminate everyone apart from those who expressed an opinion on the impact of these groups either positively or negatively, this is what you end up with. The group that does the best are the Christians, as you would kind of expect. You'd expect a basically Christian country to be most favourable towards Christian immigrants. And they are viewed positively by 85% of the people who expressed an opinion either way, and just 15% viewed them negatively. However, also Jews and Sikhs were viewed substantially positively. They were 75% positive and 25% negative. So a bit worse, but not too much so. And Hindus of this group did the worst, but not by very much. They're viewed positively by 72% and negatively by 28%. So there's not a huge great difference there either. Muslims, on the other hand, were viewed positively by just 37% of people, and negatively by 63%. And when you look at the numbers as they're broken down into fairly positive, negative, and very positive or negative, the results are even more stark again. Christians are viewed very negatively by just 6%, again as you would kind of expect in a basically Christian country. Equally, Sikhs and Hindus are viewed negatively by just 9%, and Jews are viewed negatively by 8%. So the worst of that group, the Hindus and the Sikhs, who are basically of the exact same ethnicity as Muslims and they come from the same approximate area, they're viewed just half again as negatively as the Christians at 6%. The Muslims, on the other hand, are viewed very negatively by fully 31% of these people. 31%, which is 3.5 times worse than the worst of the rest of them, which is Sikhs and Hindus at 9%, and fully 5 times worse than Christians. This is how all of that looks. The immigrant good guys, if I can call them that, all have high positive ratings, low negative and very low very negative ratings, whereas the bad guys have lamentable positive numbers, from their perspective at least, and huge negative ones. And the number of people who view Muslims very negatively in terms of their impact on the country is greater at 31% than any of the overall negative numbers of the other groups. And those numbers comprise both very negative and fairly negative, and fairly negative averages about twice the size of the very negative one. So, as you'd expect, the Muslim very negative number is 3.5 times the size of the worst of the others, 31% compared to just 9%, and 5 times higher than the best of the others, Christian immigrants, at 6%. And even if you include all of those other groups, the people who said they don't know, which is a substantial group, and also the people who said there was no difference either way, the people who then view Muslims as very negative in terms of their impact on Britain is still a whopping 20% if you dilute that number with everybody else, including those who didn't even express an opinion. 1 person in 5 sees Muslims as having a very negative impact on the country. So it turns out, for all the diversity is our strength establishment propaganda, diversity meaning more Muslims, it doesn't mean more Norwegians or more Australians or more Poles or more Germans or more French. Diversity means more Muslims. For all of that establishment propaganda, it turns out that the British people don't actually like Muslims very much. I wonder why that is.